someone alerted me to it on the stream, but I just didn't read it. Big up once again, DG. Got to say thanks for all the streams. You have definitely helped me get through some tough days. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Likewise, man. Without you lot, there's no platform. Josh Kroenke's had something to say, man. Every issue we have heard exclusively from significant figures at the club on our official Voices page of the Matchday program. Okay, family, the article produced is below. Looking back, you are fans. What you have done this season is unite behind the team. We've done our part. Just wish you lot would do yours. Unity is a key word around the club. You will hear Mikel use it frequently, and there's been unity from our supporters to our players, unity within our coaches, and unity amongst everyone across the club. It is a big positive that's only going to help us in the future. In particular, it has been fantastic to see you get behind our young squad in such a positive manner. It's very important and makes us so happy to have you behind us in this way and see that you're excited for a bright future. It feels like there's a young, fierce, loyal group of fans coming through alongside those who have been with us for many seasons. We're a club that has an amazing history, and we have an amazing future too. And you can hang your hat on that. And also we can build our club on that. But some of our youngest supporters weren't around for the amazing glory years, which is what we are chasing today with the help of all of you. We have to honor past successes, respect the achievements, remember great players, coaches, and decision makers who put the club in a position to succeed, but also carve out our own niche with the great institution that is Arsenal Football Club. All of you are going to help us do just that. I swear we're not involved in transfers. On the pitch, there have been experiences this season, positive and negative, that this team has gone through for the first time that will serve them very well going forward. The team will learn and develop because we have the right culture at the club. I hope so. I hope so. From a coaching standpoint, Mikel studies and works as hard as anyone in the game. I mean, working hard versus working smart. So I think that it was always going to be there. But we've also worked on how we'll build on and respect Arsenal's traditions while carving out the future. Has been very exciting and fulfilling for me to see this season. That foundation of culture is being laid bare. Is being laid from our young player standpoint, but also from other players around the dressing room like Granit Xhaka and Lacazette too, you know, in terms of leaders, track true. But Xhaka is always linked with moves away. Lacazette is gone, really, unless he signs a new deal. So we need more long-lasting leaders, really. We have seen different things during their careers and have provided huge support to such a young group, which speaks volumes about them. These senior players as teammates learn on the job. I think the senior players and coaching staff have struck a fine balance this season. That's how we've made such strong progress on the pitch. As a club, we need to make sure we are buying well players who can elevate us in terms of quality, really, but also players who are right from the perspective of culture and mentality. I think that showed on a number of occasions this season. When our backs were against the wall with results and injuries, we responded well. At times we did. At other times we bottled, like the tail end this season. Yes, we're in a tough position right now after the last few matches in terms of qualifying for the Champions League. But I think the lessons learned along the way will serve us very well going into the future. I mean, injuries. You know, Arsenal, everyone gets injuries. We know Arsenal, we dealt a shorthand with injuries. We played a dangerous game in January. We've been here before. Please tell me that a year from now, we're not going to be in that. Sometimes feeling a level of frustration is the best motivation you can have. In those tough moments when we've had opportunities as a squad, as staff, and as a club to fracture slightly, I think with this group and mental fortitude that we have now, we all came closer together. This is true, like the 3 defeats to start the season. I think those moments brought us closer together across the club, and I think that's what served us well. We have a group of people that are very tightly knit and are passionate about Arsenal Football Club getting to the top of the European game, and I think they have the work ethic to go ahead and get it. It's about working smart anyways. But he said, I will always refer to Edu and Mikel on recruitment again. So again, one thing I can say, I can blame the Kroenkes for our futures and that what we're doing, but our lack of mentality again is our season has been a success or a failure because of them two men and the coaching stuff. You know, we played a dangerous game in January, as I've been saying. There have been a lot of changes in our squad in the last few years, and I know the work still isn't done in terms of bringing more people in. We would have liked to have moved faster in certain areas, but there are some factors out of our control when you are on the back of a global pandemic. And I think internally we recognize that there's still such work to be done. We're still running that one. On a recruitment standpoint, I'll always refer to Edu and Mikel. Edu, you're a technical director, not really see much from you. And Mikel, everyone that's gone or out of this club or brought in is on you. So again, the lack of goals, the lack of clean sheets, the lack of bottle, whether it's players that are mentally strong, players that are able to score, players that are able to defend. We haven't done enough. The young players are the only bright spark this season. Other than that, Xhaka's had a decent year, but what you see is what you get from Xhaka. Partey's had a positive season, but what you see is what you get in terms of being a flight risk with injuries. Tierney the same, etc., etc. I mean, El Nene, Cedric, these guys, shout out to El Nene and Lacazette, these guys have played their part in us finishing fifth, and at times they've had good periods, but fundamentally they will always show you their level. Hit the like button. We played a dangerous game. It's self-inflicted why we're not in top four beyond the other things. So yeah, we only want players who are passionate about Arsenal Football Club. Players arrive from other clubs but are also elevated from our junior ranks, as is very obvious at Arsenal with Bakayo, Emil and Eddie making such huge contributions this season. The academy has been a really bright spot that receives great focus at our club. When you have a lot of turnover in the squad like we had, you create opportunities for these young players, and credit to them as they have really seized the opportunity. When young players taste a bite of the apple at first team level, they only want another bite, which is why Eddie probably wants something new doing it. And I think that's a tribute to the players and the staff for their internal hunger and for as much frustration they feel now, because I know they really want that Champions League opportunity. We're always going to keep trying to pursue and think that they can get Champions League. And you mentioned young players, not fair. I cannot belittle any young player's contribution. They're the whole reason we finished fifth. They're the whole reason this top four thing stayed alive. But the young players have not had opportunities to be young players. Whether we win, lose, or draw, it is correlated with Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe playing good or bad. When they look left and right, they need experienced players, and the experienced players are hot and cold. Let's be honest. El Nene, if you 4 or 5 games, let's be honest. Xhaka, let's be honest. Partey into that Cedric needy that equip the young players properly. How you maneuver with these experienced ones sets these young guys up for the future, allows them to develop good and bad habits. So we'll have to see, man. You said it there. There's a lot of fighting talk. Big up. He's spoken about the 2 managers being given new deals as well. People shout out to Mikel and Jonas. Respectfully, I don't really care about that. I'm just trying to get to the bulk of this. We know we are only as good as our last match, but when we look at larger trends, those trends are very much pointing in the right direction. And it was felt we needed to make sure that heading into the summer, specifically from a recruitment standpoint, every player that we're discussing coming into the club knew the direction and the people they were going to be working with. I hope so. I think as a club, we have always seen the women's game as a priority. We've done that historically, and we want to make sure we continue to do that in the future. And the future of the women's game is very bright. Exactly. Shout out to that. Scrolling all the way down, he said, it's a unique environment as far as I'm concerned to have Arsenal women play more games here. He's referring to the Emirates. Is only going to benefit them and the club as a whole. Lastly, I signed off the piece I wrote for the first home game of the season, Victoria Cordona Crescent, and victory through harmony is actually and other areas of my business and sports teams. I think is so powerful. It can have a lot of meanings, but for us this season, victory through harmony meant that behind the scenes we stayed unified, and that's one thing. There has been more unity. I'll give you credit for that, but that's a minimum. You should have unity. You should have this. Leave your egos at the door. Fight. You should be able to fight. We're all brothers and sisters. Get back. So that's a good foundation. Fifth, you can work on it. We've done better than I thought in August, but fundamentally not showed bottle, not improved defensively, still cannot control that mental headspace going into difficult games, reacting to setbacks, reacting when a game plan isn't working. And it's not just a young team, it's the whole squad. That's the word again. We stayed unified when there were times of immense pressure and heat. That's how you forge diamonds. And so I think that pressure also busts his pipe. I think that moving forward, hopefully this club starts to see a few of those polished diamonds start to shine through, because they've been forged in some very tough environments. On behalf of my father and on behalf of my father and I, Thank you for your support, Josh Kroenke. All right. Holden has said we have made massive progress. Yes, I think the progress this year, especially, has been massive. We've really stepped up and the team is building. The connection with the fans has been amazing this year, true, with them being back in the stands from 2 years of COVID. So I think we are heading in the right direction and it's a building block. Mikel Arteta has had some words to say, people, as well. I want to see specifically Mikel Arteta on the win, finishing fifth and transfers. On his thoughts after a good win, we did what we had to do. Basically, we knew that it was in our hands, that we needed a miracle and it didn't occur. That's it. The league table at the end of the season doesn't lie. It's true that last year with 67 points, Chelsea was in the Champions League. We have 69 and we're out of it. But that is the level and the demands that this league has. Now, it's irrelevant. Don't care about this. Nobody cares about the points tally of winning the league, staying in the league or whatever in it. So it's irrelevant. Last year, yesterday's price is not today's price in it. It's true. There is some progress, but stop watching other teams. Let's just do what we're doing. It's irrelevant. Hit the like button, people. Big up Liverpool for signing Fulham's Carvalho, man. Anyways, on the league position, well, we tried to give it to the fans what we knew the result as well. Everything that they to come much further as a club and as a team. I cannot assess today the season. I'm sorry. I'm still in a lot of pain after what happened on Monday, and I would like to have a fair assessment on what we have done. What I can guarantee you is that we have tried to squeeze the lemon as much as we possibly can to every single drop, and we reached a point where we reacted. I disagree. I think we've made some progress. I think we made a lot of negative. I don't feel we have applied ourselves. That's a lie. I feel if everyone can look me in my eyes, that's part of that playing staff and the coaching staff, and say they gave everything and they have no regrets, fair enough, because that's all I've asked for. You lot that have been following me in the last few months, all I've said is have no regrets. No, whether it's developing, whether it's learning from mistakes, whether it's preparing mentally, we're lying to ourselves. We didn't apply ourselves in the most massive possible way. We've had some good, we've had some bad. We have to make peace with this and we have to build for the future. But I think that's a lie. I think we all know, and you can see the reaction from the fans towards the team, and you see what we have on the pitch and what this club has achieved 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we know where we have to go. We're not going to stop. I'm extremely disappointed today because we had generated expectations that we wanted and I wanted for this football club because it's what it deserves. At the end, we came up short, and that feeling of guilt and not reaching that level is painful, and it should be, but it's self-inflicted. Self-inflicted and self-imploded. Make peace with that. We can't go back in time. Apply the positives, work on the negatives, go again next year. It's as simple as that. Nobody cares, just keep going. And whether he gets the sense that the fans believe the project is going in the right direction, I like where it's going, but I don't know. Absolutely, they've given me many reasons throughout the season. They have shown with many factors in the way they turn up, the atmosphere they built, home and away for these players. Shout out the fans, because that's true. I think they can see what we're doing a bit. They see what the players want to do. I don't know about that. I don't know what we wanted to do with Newcastle in these away games. I don't know how they represent the club, the values on and off the pitch, who we are as a. We have to make a clear assessment on that and how we're going to take the club now into the next level. And if we want to do that, we know what we have to do. He then started speaking about several players' futures, and I guess this is what we're all kind of indirectly here for, innit, people? Really and truly. Really. When you see Eddie training the way he trains, he doesn't even need to play. You know that you have a player there that's going to help you, and he's done that. Look at his numbers with the amount of games that he's played. It's terrific. Since he started starting games. Players now or tomorrow after that, we need to start to move on, but we have clear ideas on what we want to do. On whether the futures of the players out of contract has already been decided. If he says anything different, he's lying, man. Pardon me. It's been decided, but it's very difficult to communicate it. What they deserve is to have a little bit of what they had today, but to do it earlier, one way or the other, with three situations like that is very, very awkward, and it could affect the team. The season's done. The same bare things. Like, if they want to announce it themselves, fair enough, but we probably know that Eddie and Nene stay in, which has kind of been confirmed. Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette are probably keeping it moving. So as a club, we have to do the right thing in the right moment, and sometimes to combine those two issues is not easy at all, but we'll try to do the right thing. On the progress of the young players, I mean, I'm proud of our young players, people. I'm extremely proud. I'm not even surprised about how far they've come. Not only them, we had many examples of that as well. And this is part of the decision that we made last summer, that if we're going to reach a certain level, those players normally they get to that level when they get to the peak of their careers. Obviously, they are not there, but they are moving fast and they're giving us hope with them. We can reach the level that we want. He spoke on raising the standards of the club. The standards of this club have to be to win. And at the moment, we don't look at that with a time frame or when we are going to win. We are not going to get there. So we are not going to get there. So my aim is to win the biggest trophies, and my plan is to win here. And what we have to do before that is to be able to reach that level. And if he'll be ruthless with the players this summer, well, you need to. Some players that you play every week are not good enough for what we want to do. For my side, I will do, and the club will do what we have to do. What we think is the best thing for the club to move forward and to do it with integrity and honesty that we've always done it. Those players know individually their situation, when it's going to be communicated, when that situation happens face to face, the way that they deserve. On how he feels about finishing in the Europa League. Today, I don't get satisfaction, if I'm honest. I'm still in pain. Bro, get out of pain. Make peace with it, blood. We played silly games, bro. Like, everybody, we win, lose, or draw together. I'm proud of the young players, because they got us into this. I'm proud of how you're fixing things off the field. The fans, them home and away, are making bad noise. I'm proud of that. I see a bit more resilience. I do see a bit of building blocks. I do think we've improved a tiny bit defensively. I do like the set pieces. But saying that, the lack of clean sheets, the amount of goals we've conceded, the lack of the frequent times we've taken the lead and not walked away with victory, the lack of street smartness, the minutes we concede after taking the lead, the minutes we concede, just before half time or the end of the game. These are the things we need to look at. You can't be upset with that. Make peace with it. It's happened. The future brings uncertainty. The past brings regret. We need to look at that. It's the manager keeps talking about, I don't look back, I look forward. We've all played a part. For you, Arteta, there's been plenty of times I think the players have times you've messed up with not giving other players an opportunity, not rotating, not when we find the system and there's balance, changing things. Like the last 2 games prior to Everton, you should have went with a back 3. Everybody's made mistakes. Everybody's shown naivety. And we have to make peace with that. So get out of pain. Take some paracetamol. Get out of pain. We don't need emotion. You need you to look at this, take a few days, chill off, go with your family and do it in. But the work for next season needs to start now, bro. Everyone's going to get better, which doesn't fear me. Because it's as simple as that. Like, we self-imploded. We can only be angry at ourselves. We had a chance to cheat death. There's 300 of you locked in. There's only 78 likes. Unexpected high bills due if you're not hitting the like button. So yeah, man. Today, I don't get much satisfaction. If I'm honest, I'm still in pain. That's why I need the dust to settle. I need to go and get a few days on holiday, as you should manage it, Gaffer. Go and clear your head, because I think today that I'm not going to reflect on the season the way that it is. But at the same time, I'm very grateful for everybody that is supporting our club, the way they are giving us confidence and respect and motivation to drive forward, because I think they believe in what we're doing. But when you have it there, I am a winner and I hate losing, and we lost something that we could win, and that's why I'm in pain. I'm sorry. Get out of pain. We don't need emotion. We need now. I hear it. Go and cool off, but you need to look at this methodically, because the season starts early. We've got no Champions League, which you probably should have accounted for. Go and get the signings in. Try and get them in early. Work on, the things that we've done well this season, make them better. The things that evidently we need to improve on, improve. There's no time for emotion. It's calculatedness. When we remove the emotion, what I'm just talking about with this young thing that we're doing. We finished 5th, young squad. Make sure that you keep going, because next season it has to be 4th. Next season you need to get to the Europa League, latter stages of the Europa League, specifically the final. Do what you're doing, and make sure if you ever get into a situation where we're holding on to 4th in our own hands, you get over the line. FA Cup, I'm an Arsenal man. Anything less than the final in the FA Cup is failure. The gloves are off. 6-year deal, money's been spent. 50 million on Ben White. It is what it is. I said when all of these players sign, don't tell me about their strengths. Tell me about their weaknesses, because how they're going to get to the next level. There's no point telling me about a man's strengths. Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martin Odegaard. Like you as a manager, issues. We need to learn, I do think there's a more of a grit in our team. But saying that statistically, it's not kind to us. We don't come back from behind enough. We don't hold on to leads enough. As you saw last season, when it was just not a fighting thing, but when it's a fighting thing, like Spurs game away, like Newcastle away, like Crystal Palace away, like Brighton away, like Everton away. There's this. Sometimes we've gone in, again, regardless of where United or Everton are, whether you're getting top four, whether you're fighting to stay in the league, if you go to Goodison Park and you've got one hand on 3 points, Old Trafford the same, you need to walk away with that. We need to have confidence, going into certain games. I always look for, and I'll be no different next season when it gets announced. Obviously, I'm going to look at the Chelseas, the Cities, the Liverpools, but I'm looking for Brighton, I'm looking for Crystal Palace, I'm looking for Southampton, these sort of games. There are bogey teams, and we was proven right. Now, we dealt with Southampton at home. Away, it was meaty. Southampton, I don't really like going against them. Palace, they took 4 points of us. And again, on top of Palace, at home, we was winning. Do you remember Lacazette came on and he patterned? Look, the level of goals we've conceded, every goal that you concede, you're going to want to do better. But let's be honest, Everton, we won 5-1 and it was largely one-way traffic, but unnecessarily eve of half-time, people are not stopping crosses, people are not following runners, people are not smelling danger. We're going into half-time at 2-1. We're not killing that game in the first 10. Leeds one chance scoring. Man United away, silly penalties, self-imploding. Everton the same. Last embers, we're down to 10 men. Last embers of the game against Man City. I'm being harsh, but we're losing the battle against Rodri and Laporte. These are the sort of things. It's literally been all or nothing. Sometimes you need to win, not playing well. It does feel like too many things have to be perfect for us to get away with stuff. This is what we need to improve. Keeping clean sheets, scoring goals, having that, that sort of resolute sort of stuff, that one in it. Like, as always, tomorrow we need to be a bit more nastier. Obviously, going into games, setting the tone, reacting to setbacks. Sometimes it's not going to be your day. You are going to concede. React, and beyond the obvious, these are the certain things that we need to improve on, really. For Arteta, sometimes you've made too many changes. I actually like how, I think a big reason as you played, last year, when I say last year, the season before last, I think we was unnecessarily rotating. Now there's a bit more stability, but at times you haven't had that you when you don't need to change things, you change things. When you need to change, you've not made them changes. Everyone's played. We win, lose, or draw in this football club together. It's as simple. Moments, Arteta, there is some potential, but you've signed a new deal. Money's been spent. We need to get top four, or we need to see significant. The gloves are off, and I need to see that sense of urgency. I need to see players improving, and I would say we've got to want to learn to defend. You as at Man City, do I think any one of those City players, bar the obvious, want to defend? No, but they're a terrific defensive side. The same goes for Liverpool. And it's not just basic defending, of course, basic defending, but it's how you hold on to the ball. It's how you manage the game after going a goal up. It's how it's these sort of things. I look at our midfield. I'll be serious. If the midfield is not significantly improved, I give up for next season. If it's Xhaka and Partey week in, week out, I'm sorry, but it's not good enough. That's just my opinion. I'll always support, but it's not levels. You was a midfielder. The technical director was a midfielder. Our midfield is not physical enough. Our midfield is not technical enough. Our midfield is not defensively good enough. Yeah, you've put some building blocks defensively and there's some good attacking options, but that middle third, Odegaard, half of these guys are not going to bang until you address that. And we have to learn to love defending. It's too easy to brush past us. Cheap goals have been conceded, Again, our press, look at the Newcastle game. One man is pressing and then they're going pop pause and then they're just getting past us. We've got to learn to love the dirty work. So for Arteta and these players, remember how it felt. There are some positives this season, but remember how it felt. Like you said, you're hurting. And I know why you're hurting, because you're the gaffer. You believe in these boys. You're seeing it week in, week out. I believe in all these lot as well. But we have self-imploded. Remember how it felt to turn your season around and at some point kind of shut some people up. Remember how it felt to kind of prove them right. That wanker Gary Neville's going to be chatting crap. But forget all the outside noise. I think last season was, if you believed everything in August, we're getting relegated. If you believe the hype, we're going to flip and beat Barca in the final of the Champions League. Forgive yourselves for the mistakes. Bad things happen. Because at the end of the day, it's just football. You don't know what you need to do next year. It's the same things week in, week out. You've signed a new deal. There needs to be a sense of urgency. So yeah, man, shout out to, I still believe in you, but I don't believe in you unapologetically, if that makes sense. I'd rather you stay than get sacked. But if that needs to happen, it needs to happen. It's Arsenal FC. It's as simple as that, man. So decent little building blocks, man. Man said, how's Europe, you smelly gooner? Not as smelly as your mum's fanny. I'll tell you that, mate. In fact, smell like Wilder, so it might be all right, but don't test me. Yeah, don't come for the guy. You know the thing. The Mac 10 stays off safety, pussy. Anyways, allow it, bro. Don't run shit, Bants. Calm yourself down, man. You're good. You know you're not like that, man. You know you're not like that. Sorry, mommy, man. I know you're just paying your bills and that. I'm sorry, man. 400 of you locked in, only 109 likes. I know you lot don't like me, but at least make it less obvious. Fucking hell, hit the like button, right? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Anyways, let's get into now. We can start talking about stuff. So yeah, passion thing done. Let me go the way. Let me scroll the way up. I'm violating you lot, man. I appreciate you lot's comments and things. When we're gonna have to see, mate. Worst case scenario is a squad player. I mean, I'm not against it. If Our really is available for 50 million, there's absolutely no reason we shouldn't sign him. When it's too good to be true, it means we won't, man. Honest discussion with Europe, 8th, without Europe, 5th. My question is to you, are we finishing in the conference next season? I don't know where it is, but I can promise win, lose, or draw, I'll be here with you lot. Feels like we're used to having no midweek games and having more time, couldn't hack it. Boy, when fans are like 1 game a week, bro, it's a fantasy. Even 1 game a week, we're almost playing 2 games a week, and it's still coming thick and fast, really and truly. Played with our food, man. What's all this Isaac chat? Why man talking about Isaac? Is there been some rumors? We need to learn how to draw games. So if you can't win, don't lose, and we need to thingy. Take heed of that. Depending on, it's unfair on the young thugs. I can't lie, it's unfair. You know, if Liverpool if City relied on Phil Foden per se, take nothing away from him. Said no one player of the year should have been Reece James, Trent, or Bukayo Saka, but it is what it is, man. You know, Liverpool would look a lot different if they just relied on Curtis Jones and things like that. It's unfair on these young thugs because when they're looking meaty, who do they look to the left and right? They don't have time to just be youths and have the occasional bad game. How badly has Arteta got to start next season for him to get the clip? I hope he starts in the best possible way, but realistically, at Arsenal, things have to turn real sour. You remember when Emre went, certain man within the club was saying he's getting a new deal. So it is what it is. Big one is weak mentality, going to go down, drop your heads. Like in your words, haven't you been a goal down before? Exactly. And I'm not going to lie, it's a couple men are just soft. And I would say for Arteta, like, I think I like Odegaard, but like, I look at, in hindsight, the games like Newcastle, you can't really, there should be an argument of not playing him or Smith Rowe or one of them. Like, and today improve physically. Some games, you just need the tugs them in the middle. Other games, you need the ballers. Like, we need to, and sometimes you need a mix and match. Sometimes we need to thingy, man. Lovey asks for it, bro. Tell us which players we have bought. I have to call it, dude, man. Daniel, don't do that. Don't do that. Kind of a blessing not getting Champions League. Would have been gas to be back, but so long just to get slappings. Would rather try. I can't lie. I hear you, but that's that fake positive, bro. I wanted Champions League football. We're not in it. Nothing else is good enough. I'm a spoiled Arsenal fan. 27 years of age. All I knew for time was finishing ahead of Spurs and top 4. Word to Arsene Wenger. Europa League is probably on the balance of things where we deserve to be, probably where we would have taken in August. But yeah, there's no guarantee we won't get slapped in Europa League and that. Like, I just wanted to be in the club. If anything, I would have allowed Arteta. I would have said, you got Champions League. All I would have asked you to do is come out the group. You know, I think that's fair. All I would have asked is come out the group. I couldn't ask you anything else. Just get out the group stage. Europa League, and I'm sure United are probably saying the same with Ten Hag. Man, need to get to the final. Anything less than that is rubbed.